Yeah, so welcome to the session on hands-on with the world's best document understanding tool. So what we'll be doing here is we will try to take one use case and then understand the implementation of world's best documentation, best document extraction tool. I will just let you know what exactly is that tool and why I'm saying it. And of course, they claim that it's a top tool at this moment. It is the fastest and quickest tool. But from my experience, I have used a lot of tools so far with specific to the document extraction because that's the major use case within artificial intelligence. So that's the reason I would also let you know the challenges with this one. So what are the drawbacks of this particular tool at the end of the video? Just wait for that. Yeah. Okay. So let's get started now. I hope you're excited. So let me share my screen. And so this is what the Mistral OCR, they say the world's best document understanding API at this moment. And they also say it's the quickest and the fastest. Okay. So here is the um, Google Colab Pro notebook I have created, and I will provide this notebook to you, no problem at all. So you can just use it and you can customize it. And I have made this notebook in such a way that you can put your own documents into this, and then you can do a plug and play. You just put your own documents and add your path, and you'll able to use it immediately without, you know, uh, without using your much of your efforts. Okay, so let's begin now. So now the prerequisites, what we are trying to do here is, um, so one is Mistral OCR. So that's one model we are using. That's from the OCR tool. And on other side, we are also using LLM, which is Mistral's LLM, so which is Pixtral 12B and Ministral 8B, so which is 12B and 8 billion parameters. Of course, you can use any other LLM, Gemini or GPT or Llama, anything you can just plug in it. But for this, the major focus is to understand the capability of OCR and how can it be different than compared to the other tools. So that's the reason we are doing it. So that's the reason my major focus is not on in terms of LLM. Okay. So yeah, how will we start it off? So let me tell you a few things first. So whenever you start something, you just need to understand what are the input requirements first. So here, so two major things are required for us. So one is the model, which is Mistral OCR. So that has to be installed. Now to use this model, you need to access this model from the particular server. Okay. So now how will we do it? So that normally we do it through API calls. So what is required in the first place? One is API key. So how to get that API key? So that's what we'll see first. Then second is you need to use your own input document so that you can understand the power of this tool. So now how will we get it? Where we get it? So I have made it very simple in such a way that you just upload your document in your respective Google Drive, and from there you just pick your path and add plug it here, and you will able to use it. That's it. I have made it very simple for you. Okay. So now let's install the Mistral AI tool. So once it's done, so now it's time for you to use either so the documents provided by Mistral. Of course, I would tell you to use your own just to get the proper understanding. So then I would like to install the Google Colab, because the reason is I don't want to expose my API keys outside. So that's the reason I would like to have it here as a secret. We call it as a Google Colab secret. So now it's better to add it here as a Google Colab secret and then use it over there. So that's what the um, important thing to do. So that's the reason I have installed the Google Colab. So once I've installed, so now it's time to get our API key. So where will you get it? How will you get it? That's what the next question. Let's do it now. So as I told you, so this is our Mistral AI platform. So this more of consists of the lay chart. It's kind of the interface where we can chat with the foundation models or LLMs. That's in the, or we can say that instruction tuned. These models are there, so you can chat with it, and it has very good capabilities, very good capabilities. And as a developer or data scientist, I would request you to use this. It will enhance your capabilities and reduce some of the tasks. Okay, but as your personal tool, not in the office premises. Okay, so that's done. And then the second, what we have here is the La Platform A. So this is where you will have your agents can be built here, your model can be fine-tuned, and you have the API request and understand the API, their API structures, and then you have also an option to download the entire model and then do self-deployment in your premises, on premise, etc. So on top of that, they are providing all the documentation specific to the RAG, function calling, text generation, and even prompt engineering, and most importantly, the guardrailing. So that's very important when you put your models into the production. So that's very useful. So, okay, so that's what is about the documentation. But the most important, the devil in the room or the elephant in the room for us is API key. So that's where I will be directing you to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new API key here. So just come to this rightmost topmost section of your window, and then just click on create new key, and let me say that the Mistral key. I just give the 1 day of expiry. That's more than enough. So just you live on this ad for 1 day. That's more than enough for us. Yeah, thank you. So let me create this, and now it's done. And so this is our Mistral key. Okay, from here you can just, if you want delete, you can delete it. So I've just copied the key. And now let's get back to our Collab Pro notebook. So now what I'm going to do is, so I'll click on this key secret section, and then I'll just click on add new secret, and I'll put the Mistral API key, and then I'll paste it here. And of course, you need to just put this as show secret. You should give an access to this notebook so that it can access. Okay, so that's done. So now our Mistral API key has been added as a secret key within the Google Colab environment. So that's the reason I'm using this user data module and then get method to get the API key. Let's do it. This is very secretly, like secure, very secure way of fetching your API. And then from there, the next thing is to, you just, from Mistral AI library, you need to import the Mistral is a class. That's a class. So from that Mistral class, we will be instantiating the object, which is called client. So obviously, when you instantiating the object, you need to give some arguments. Our first argument is API key. So with that, you are able to access the Mistral model, which is there in it with the API key. So API key is a key to enter into their space. Okay. So which means Mistral side, which I'm majorly talking in terms of the model. Okay. So from there, next, the second input that I was speaking, okay, that I was saying, which is your PDF, which is your input. So where will you place it? So will you fetch it through URL, or will it fetch it from your own drive? So that's where I was just trying to mount my Google Drive, and once I mount it, and this is where I placed my docs, my PDFs, and obviously I can fetch the path from there, and directly you can see that in the dimensions.as. So I'll just come to the YouTube, and here if you find, I can just, let me drag it over here, and then this is where I have my documents, IBM AI governance, as well as the masters, the maritime 1-2. Okay, yep. So that's what is about the input that we'll be getting through. And now what we will try to do here is, let's explore. So now we have the basic setup done for us. Okay, so now we have two types. Either we can go for the table rich, and other one is, there are different types of documents fundamentally. So let me go back and share my, yeah, let me change it to this pattern. Yeah, I think it's visible now. Yeah, let me go back to the. So of course, you know that there are different types of documents. So you can see the image rich, and you can see the text rich, and you can see a few documents where uh, tables, it consists of more of tables. And here I have just chosen one document where where it consists of the images and everything. So it's more of the nicely structured article from the IBM. So we'll see when we extract using the old tools, when we were doing with the old tools, we were facing some issues because so it kinds of a mix of data. But at the end of the day, what OCR used to extract for us is more of a textual data. So we missed a lot of context. Even we were unable to extract the tables in a proper way. So that's where we have faced a lot of issues in RAG, because this extracted data uh, has to be chunked, and after chunking it has to get into the vector database. So now if the relation is not properly extracted first, and the relation which has been created within the vector db won't be right, so then your output may not be right. So that's the reason the most important for any RAG system or any extraction tool is to have the proper information in place, and that's what I feel it's going to do. Of course, there are a few challenges. I have told you that what are the challenges, and that we will discuss at the end of the video. Okay, no worries at all for the time being. Yep. So now let's I hope you're able to see my screen. I'm just cross-checking again and again so that there should not be any issue at all. Okay, so now, so I'll use the pathlib library, and then I'll use the import. Basically, I use the path method to import my. So this is where my AI governance ebook, which is from the IBM, which is a public document. I think anybody can use it. So let me execute it, and I'm saving the document into the PDF underscore file variable name. Variable name in Python, we call it as a variable namespace, and that variable name I'm using it. Yeah. So now what I'm going to do is from Mistral AI library, I'll import the document URL chunk class, and then we have the image URL chunk and text chunks. So these are the things I'll be importing, and then I'll also import the JSON and more of that. So the file that I got, so I just need to stem off the name, and then whatever the content it consists of, all that has to be read in bytes format. So that's what I'm doing here, and I'm saving everything in in this file. Okay. So from there we have the file is one of the argument, and then another argument that we have here is purpose, and the purpose of this task is doing the OCR. So that's the reason I just mentioned. I have given the it's a key value based, so I have given the value as a OCR, which is a string format. That's a predefined. So now let's get to the more important action. So where PDF response, PDF underscore response is the variable name, and that's where my first argument comes up with this document URL chunk and the model that I'm using. So I hope you should be able to see here. So the model I'm using is Mistral OCR latest. This is the very latest one, the recent one. And of course, I'm including, so this another argument, which is we call it as include underscore image underscore base 64. I'm keeping it as a true, which is Boolean based argument, to make sure that it will able to extract the images to in a proper way. So, and I'm just putting everything into the proper structure through the JSON format. Okay. So let's execute this piece of code, and let's see what's gonna get out. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty quick. That's pretty quick. So that's what they were claiming. They're quicker, and we should be able to see. Yeah, of course, in the next video with my another fellow um, data scientist, we would like to compare the speed of the OCR tool. We'll upload the same PDF, and let's compare the two tools and how fast it is. But for now, I'm pretty much impressed. Yep. So this is the response. This is the API response. We got it from the model, and you can clearly see the index markdown, what consists of the what it consists of in the first page, what it consists of in the second page, and image. You can see that it had extracted the image, and it's nicely placing in it, and then it's of course using the regex too. That's part of it. And so here you can see that the image data has been um, done as base 64. Yeah, so that's image base 64. It's pretty fantastic, pretty fantastic. So that's, you can explore the entire thing. Okay, that's fine for now. So now let me scroll down and let's see what's there in the, yes. So now the next step, so we have extracted the stuff, everything. Now we need to convert that. We got the API response. Now we need to convert that into nice OCR response from the Mistral AI.models. We are importing the OCR response. And then of course we'll use the markdown and display to present it in a nice way. Okay. So now, so first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a function replace images in markdown. Then we will combine everything together and show it as a nice piece of work. And here what you see here is the document that we have extracted, and this is the first page of the document. So if you want, I can show this is where we have the IBM governance doc, and here it is. So you can see that as per the page wise, and what the structure, the document structure, everything. Of course, is a publicly available document. I hope it's an open source. That's the reason I'm using it. Okay. So there's the document, and let's see the response. We got it, and it's absolutely fantastic. You see that the content section, and then the introduction section, and from there we're just moving to the next page, which is the market size, and you can see that even the scaling, the strategy one, an entire image has been captured very nicely, and then the metrics has been captured, and the models, the structure by and large has been maintained, okay, has been maintained. So if you, I hope you can see that. So of course there's a textual data with the properly heading and subheadings, and then content. Again, the images comes into the picture. There's a closing one, and here is the references. The reference was also has been captured properly, and there's a copyright section of the IBM. Yeah. So that's how the pretty fantastic one. So what are the applications we get it and everything that we can discuss? But you can see this is basically the structure rich an article type of um, PDF. If you have some time to explore with me, what we can do is we can explore some table rich PDFs too. Let me just drag it over on the right side, and let's give it a try. There is nothing wrong in exploring. Yeah, for timing, let me share this. Yeah, this way. Yep. So let me try to find out. Yeah, here I have this. So this is pretty much a structure, a table, most of the table. I think entire document consists of a table. And let me copy this path. And I'm trying to, yeah. So let me copy this path. Let's, yeah, let's explore the, yep. So we got it. Now what we're gonna do here is we will try to explore the other type. So which is more of which is more of the table rich. So let me get to this and get the path for this particular PDF, and here it is. It's maritime based, and it's a maritime based PDF, and it consists of the standing instructions, etc., etc. And it's more of it's entirely consists of the it entirely consists of the tables. Okay, now let me change the layout again, and yeah, so this is where we're coming up. Yep. So now let me get back to this. So our new PDF, standing orders PDF has been referenced with a variable name called pdf underscore file. And now let me do the same process. Let me use the client object and then OCR process method, and then let's do it now, and let's see, yeah, how much time it's going to take roughly, so that we'll be able to calculate here. It has taken 4 seconds. Of course, this doesn't have any images, but this is pretty quick. Of course, it's pretty quick. It has taken just 4 seconds. Yeah. So how many pages it consists of? What's the first page? So that information and the index 2, 3, and test of what exactly it consists of. Everything we have it, and now let's mark down it and structure it and make it nice to visualize. Wow, that's pretty cool. You see that? It's a PDF which consists of a table of contents, master standing order, general guidelines, and you can see that the table, and this is another table, and this is another table. So I think it has captured everything so nicely. Of course, I have just cross-checked it. I have used the evaluation tool just to cross-check how far it's close. I'm pretty much impressed with the results and the table and everything. Of course, I've done the manual evaluation. In future, we will do an evaluation with the RAGAS or some other tool. Yeah, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, you see that? You see that it has, by and large, it has covered everything together. Oh, this is pretty cool. You see. Yep, even the compliance one, the standard reference, TMSA. Yep, pretty good. That's nice. So this is specific to the PDFs. We have explored the content rich, table rich, and image and a structure rich. Now let's try to explore the image rich articles, or that we have anyway seen. Now let's try to explore just images only. Okay. So next, what we're going to see is, now so far we have worked with the PDF. Now it's time to look into the images. So here I have a receipt.png in this particular, you see that? In this particular folder, I have the receipt.png, and that's what I'm going to use. So now let me bring that. So I will reference this receipt.png with a variable name called image underscore file. And from there, so what I'm going to do is I will use, because we have done the image will be read using the read bytes, so and decode, and later we will try to encode this first, and then parallelly we do that. So then once we got this reading of image, because that's very important, you need to parse the image, read the image. Once that is done, then as it is, the remaining process remains same, but there we have used the document URL chunk, but here we are going to use the image URL chunk. So that's the difference, fundamental difference. But your input should always be base64 data URL. So this step is very important. You need to do this base64 encode and then decode. So this is very important stuff. Then only you need to give. So, and after that you have to use Mistral OCR latest. That's the model we'll be using, and then we will be structuring them using JSON load. So let me execute it now, and we will see what it consists of. So this consists of only one index because it doesn't have multiple pages. So index 0, and that's where what it consists of. It's some information about that all has been pulled up here. So of course it took very less time because it's very simple image. So now it's time to mark down and put it into a nice markdown way so that we will able to see properly. And yeah, this is what the entire, so this parking receipt consists of a header, and this is what instruction, city validity, and expiration information, purchase, payment, and detail. And this is where we have used you see that here we have used LLM, which is Pixtral 12B latest. We have used that LLM to add additional context to it, additional understanding to it, or summarizing the entire image in a nice and proper way. So that's how this OCR tool and LLM go hand in hand. Okay, so in this place you can use a Gemini or GPT or Llama, whichever tool you would like to have, even a DeepSeek. Okay, so this is what the output we got. and let's put this out everything like we are leveraging a model already capable of vision tasks because it consists of a vision. Of course, we will talk in another video exactly the deep technical architecture of the OCR, this particular Mistral OCR. So this has a vision capabilities. However, we could use text-only models for the structured output too. So here, so what the mixed the Pixtral 12B, which is more of it has a vision capability. So that's the reason we are able to pull some information. Now, inspired of the Pixtral, we can use a simple LLM Minstrel 8B latest 2. So basically, before I was talking about the vision capabilities, more of I'm talking about the Pixtral 12B. Of course, your OCR is also kinds of very important architecture that we're going to discuss later. So now, so let me execute this one. We are trying out with Minstrel 8B latest, which is purely text, and still you're able to get the complete result out of it. So now you can put all together and you can just explore. So we can use the Pi country and we can explore everything together. Okay, so here I'm just writing the classes, and then within the, and also I have defined a structured OCR function so that just provide the image, and after that it would be nicely converted to the response that we want in a proper format. And again, you can use either Pixtral 12B latest, which is multi, and or else you can use a text-based one, anything, any model from any other provider. Okay, so that's done. Now just pulling my image and then providing to this particular structured OCR function that I have defined here, and then rest all will be the history. So it's taking a little time because there are little more multiple functions to be executed, and finally you got this entire information in a nice structured format. And if you just want to see the image that we're using, so this is what we have used, and it is able to identify a header, expiry date, and everything in detail and entire information properly. So that's the power of your OCR. It's quick and efficient, and more of it is um, it's giving a structured response even with the images all together. Okay, so now let's just quickly look into what they're claiming at least. Okay, so OCR is an optical character recognition. So Mistral OCR is an optical character recognition API that sets a new standard in the document understanding, unlike other models. So because I've been in this industry for 10 years and more than 10 years, and we have tried a lot of tools specific to these NLP based use cases because it's one of the very important use case. So I'm pretty much impressed with this one. We have, so every, like, it is continuously evolving at particular time. One tool is good, but there are some other challenges. We are keep on addressing these challenges, and these tools are becoming better and better. Okay, so Mistral OCR comprehends each element of documents in three modes. One is media, text, tables, and equations with unprecedented accuracy. So that's, and even the cognition. So that's the power of this tool. That's why I'm pretty much impressed with this tool. That's why I'm making this video too. So it takes images and PDFs as an input and extracts content in an ordered interleaved text and images. So you can directly use this either through Lay chat or the Lay platform that I've told you, or I will just put the this particular Google Colab Pro notebook in the comment section. You can just access it and then you can use it. It's completely free. Okay, so that's what this is about, and you can clearly see some of the examples that they have mentioned. So this consists of the tables plus figures, and this is what it's mentioned, and here is your OCR result. Yeah, Pixtral VAT. Of course, so this consists of course, there's architectural details of the Pixtral 12 billion, which consists of vision transformers and everything, but we'll keep it aside. So you can see the result, how nicely it's able to pull up. And this is pure math document. Okay, this pure math document, and so which is talking about the multiplicities. Then tensors, tensors is a fun of dealing with tensors, and you see that the math equations are also by and large extracted as it is. That's pretty cool. And Hindi, of course, Hindi can be done to some extent, but that's so this is the power. So like exact image with the images and text and the structure is everything is maintained and intact. Oh, this is I think it would be useful in UAE too. That's nice. And this is what they're claiming their top benchmark. So they're just comparing the Google Document AI. Of course, I worked with it. It's cool. It's good because I've done few production ready use cases, and then Azure OCR I've used it when I was in Volvo. So that's good. And of course, Gemini itself is a very good tool in terms of extraction because we have done multiple projects in it. So when you compare the Mistral OCR, is you can see that it is almost on the top notch. That's what they're claiming. Okay, so you have the toughest competitor for the math is, of course, we have the Gemini 1.5 Pro, and for the multilingual it is so again the Gemini 1.5 Flash is also doing well, as well as the 1.5 Pro. Okay, and when it comes to the scanned images, scanned docs or scanned PDFs, GPT-4 is also good, but Gemini 1.5 Pro and Gemini. So Gemini, from my experience, I feel it's good. It's good. Google, the Gemini is pretty good with dealing majority of the use cases. Of course there are some limitations and challenges too. Okay, so Mistral OCR, again, coming to the tables, it's doing pretty cool. So like it got 96.12, and of course next to it is Gemini 2.4 Flash and then GPT-4. So Mistral is on top notch for the time being. Let's see. Okay, then come to the multilingual. The fuzzy match is also very important. So fuzzy match in generation, again Mistral OCR is 99, and then before that you have the Gemini, you have the Azure OCR, and then Gemini. Of course, Azure OCR is also good. Yeah, Gemini 2.0 Flash. So these are the overall benchmarks. This is specific to language. Okay, so French, Hindi, and Turkish, various languages, and then their benchmarks. Of course, this claims that Mistral OCR is at the top notch. So of course, Gemini 2.0 is also there. Nice. So so one of the things they're highlighting themselves is it is the fastest in its category. Um, of course, we do need to do the comparative analysis before we commit to this statement, but I feel it's quickest. Okay, so of course you can try various use cases with it, so kind of digitizing the scientific research and preserving the historical and cultural heritage. Exactly, whatever the document is there, with the images, with the structure, you can pull it up and then keep it in the digitized format in your servers. And you can do the streamlining. Customer service departments are exploring Mistral OCR to transform documentation and manuals into indexed knowledge and reducing response time and improving customer satisfaction. Of course, you can create a literary or literature across design, education, legal, and AI ready. So that's what. So this is kind of a downstream. It is an upstream. So from there, you can take it as an input to the next another AI or Gen AI project. So that's what is about what they're claiming. But now let's get back to the challenges with it. As I have promised you at the beginning of the video, that I'll be talking about some of the cons or the challenges. Okay, so uh, the first point here is, I know with one document or two document or with the 10-15 pages, it works pretty cool and pretty good, but we just need to see that when it comes to the enterprise, the number of documents are high and it's very huge setup. So now, will it comply? Will it able to cater to the enterprise requirements or not. So that's what the ones you have, the enterprise requirements with the consumer OCR. So Mistral offers impressive baseline capabilities, baseline OCR capabilities. It's impressive, but enterprise document processing demands more than one size fits all approach. So because if, of course, if there's a particular format, it's able to pull it up very nice. But let's imagine an enterprise consists of different types of formats. Will it able to cater to the entire thing? So for that, you need to consider additional things. For enterprise, document processing requires a domain-specific fine-tuning of the same. Okay, so Mistral doesn't allow custom fine-tuning for industry-specific documents, a critical requirement for specialized applications. And of course, you need to have an human in the loop verification. So enterprise grade solutions need human verification workflows for uncertain extraction. So Pulse supports this through a configurable confidence thresholds and a review interfaces. And then you have the structural preservation. Beyond text extraction, maintaining document structure is essential for downstream processing, because once you have proper structure has been captured, then we can use it for the downstream processing. You can go for the RAG, a multi-agent, or probably RPA or DPA, robotic process automation or digital process automation. So Mistral treats many tables as a flat images rather than a structured data. This is one of the biggest challenge. I hope Mistral team fix it up. I hope they'll fix this up. Okay, and then the last one is deterministic results. So enterprise workflows need consistent, reproducible outputs. That's very important requirement of enterprise. So VLMs like this, as I told you, so we'll be exploring the technical side, but VLMs like Mistral show output variance even on identical inputs. Probably that should also be worked. If that's done, so if two things, structural preservation and deterministic results are handled, so it would be a pretty amazing tool for us as a data scientist, and we can do wonders with respect to this enterprise document digitization. And from there, let me talk a bit of pros, because I'm talking too many challenges now. Let me talk a little bit of pros to the Mistral. So so the most important thing that I liked is they have interlaid bounding box detection into the data ingestion pipeline. So we believe this along the right approach. So our preliminary testing, my preliminary testing reveals that while the general purpose VLMs continue to improve, specialized document processing systems remain essential for mission critical business applications where accuracy, structure preservation, and domain adaptation are non-negotiable. Because I'm almost for 10 years I'm handling the production use cases, no compromise with the accuracy, structure preservation, and domain adaptation. So that's the reason. But one thing I liked with the Mistral is they have they have had an interlaid bounding box detection in the overall data ingestion pipeline. Because of this, it's gonna get better and better and adapt to the new types of formats. It can improve, it can continue to improve itself. So that's the best thing of this one. I'm just ending up this video with a positive note for the Mistral. Of course, we have challenges that has to be handled, but however, in overall, this is an fantastic and an amazing tool to be worked. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will attach this in comment section, attach this particular Google Colab Pro notebook in comment section. Just fetch it from there and keep trying with your domain specific, industry specific, enterprise specific documents, and just let me know in the comments how this particular tool is performing. And we would probably connect in another call where we're comparing the two OCR based tools. Till then, take care. See you. Bye bye. But don't forget to subscribe the channel. Take care, man. Bye. See you.